The top stories tonight in Y News. The Department of Health reported that the Omicron sub-lineage BA.2, also known as stealth Omicron, has been detected and is common among local cases in the Philippines.
The vaccination against COVID-19 of children aged 5 to 11 will officially kick off on February 4.
President Rodrigo Duterte plans to reveal unfit presidential aspirants and who among them is allegedly most corrupt.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, January 25, 2022. I am Herlene Delgado.
Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts and our website, untvweb.com. I am William Theo.
First in the news, the Department of Health confirms the detection of the stealth Omicron sub-lineage and is common among local cases in the Philippines. Isko Miguel will tell us why.
BA.1 Omicron sublineage and the stealth Omicron or BA.2 Omicron sublineage have been detected in the Philippines according to the Department of Health. Health spokesperson Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres said BA.1 sublineage is most common or predominant in the Bicol region and among returning overseas Filipinos, while the stealth Omicron or BA.2 is the predominant sublineage detected in 10 regions. BA.2 has also been detected in at least 49 countries and 17 U.S. states. Regions with BA.2 include Cordillera Administrative Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Metro Manila and others from Visayas and Mindanao region. According to Undersecretary Vergeres, there is no significant difference in clinical presentation between BA.1 and BA.2. However, available data is limited. The World Health Organization and experts around the globe are still studying their characteristics compared to the original Omicron variant of concern.
Sa ngayon, kailangan natin maipaalala at tandaan ng ating mga kababayan walang nakitang significant difference sa clinical presentation ang BA.1 at BA.2 at kinakailangan pa rin po ng masusing pag-aaral dahil limitado pa rin naman ang ating mga obserbasyon na nakukuha dito.
Currently, there are 535 confirmed Omicron cases in the Philippines. Omicron is considered as the predominant variant in the National Capital Region and other regions with spike of COVID-19 cases. Isko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Health experts say cloth masks are not as effective against a more transmissible Omicron COVID-19 variant. They also recommend double masking to help protect the public from getting infected. Eileen Cerudo will give us the details live. Eileen, go ahead.
Yes, Jacob, studies show the Omicron is more infectious compared to other COVID-19 variants. Double masking, according to health experts, improves filtration and is effective in preventing exposure to viruses.
Mag-double mask upang ma-maximize ang filtration at ang protection. Atin din pong siguraduhin hindi maluwag at tama ang fit ng mask na atin pong susuotin.
Medical advisor of the National Task Force Against COVID-19, Dr. Ted Herbosa, also explains that cloth masks will not be as effective compared to surgical masks.
Yung cloth definitely ay dapat palitan ng surgical mask. Kung kaya, pwedeng magdoble ng surgical mask. And kung ikaw ay nag-work sa mga enclosed areas o yung mga high-risk setting, yung talagang kausap mo ay mga positive like a laboratory or a clinic or ER, maganda yung KN95.
For infectious disease experts, Dr. Ron Jean Solante, an individual can still wear a cloth mask as long as it is paired with a surgical mask. He also reiterates the importance of wearing face masks properly and frequently when necessary.
Even a surgical mask is still okay. Cloth mask, pwedeng doblehin lang with a surgical mask para lang karagdagang protection. But ang importante nito is wearing it consistently and wearing it properly.
Wearing N95 mask provides an increased protection. However, health experts do not recommend it for public use. Dr. Solante said it is best to reserve the KN95 or N95 mask to the country's healthcare workers who are more exposed to the virus.
Kung gagamit man tayo ng KN95 or N95, baka mahirapan tayo sa supply dahil itong mga mask na to ay napaka-importante nito sa mga healthcare workers or sa healthcare facilities.
The Department of Health previously explained that there are no evidence showing that wearing face masks lower oxygen levels. The Health Department assures that face masks are safe to use. Diego?
Thank you, Eileen Cerudo, reporting live.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police or PNP vowed to intensify its crackdown against the rampant selling and stockpiling of fake medical products in the country. Leia Ilagan reports why.
PNP Chief Police General Junardo Carlos directs all police units to monitor their areas of responsibility against unscrupulous stores and warehouses selling unregistered medical products. Recently, fake antigen test kits, face masks, Chinese medicines, and other counterfeit goods worth 150 million pesos were seized at warehouse in Manila. Among the confiscated products were COVID-19 antigen test kits, counterfeit Lianhua Chinese herbal medicines, and fake 3M N95 face masks. In a statement, PNP Chief Police General Junardo Carlos said he wants to know the extent of the operations and file appropriate charges against the perpetrators. The PNP chief vowed that it would launch a more aggressive campaign in identifying and curbing the root cause of the spread of similar products. Carlos advised the public to buy their medical items from accredited pharmacies and drug stores and to immediately report to the authorities those who are selling fake medical items. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippines recorded 17,677 new cases of novel coronavirus disease or COVID-19, pushing the nationwide case count to 3,459,646. According to the Department of Health, all labs were operational on January 23, 2022. However, 6 labs were not able to submit their data to the COVID-19 document repository system. The country also posted 247,451 active cases. Of these, 235,181 are mild, 7,464 are asymptomatic. 2,996 are moderate, 1,502 are severe, while 308 are in critical condition. 33,144 new recoveries were also reported, bringing the total to 3,158,597, or 91.3% of the total number, while 79 have died, bringing the death toll from COVID-19 to 52,598, or 1.55% of the total number. Meanwhile, according to the Johns Hopkins University, the overall global COVID-19 caseload has topped 355,109,543, while the deaths have surged to 5,605,267. The U.S. is the worst hit country with the world's highest number of cases and deaths at 71,709,180 and 868,512 respectively, followed by India and Brazil.
Vaccination against COVID-19, all children aged 5 to 11 will officially kick off on February 4 in the NCR, National Capital Region. JP Nunez reports.
The National Task Force Against COVID-19 assures that the government is now ready to roll out COVID-19 vaccines to children 5 to 11 years old. It will begin on February 4 and the final guidelines is expected to be released within this week. Trainings, meetings, and other preparations for the proper implementation of the program is still ongoing.
Mr. President, prepare na po tayo sa vaccination ng 5 to 11 years old. Last January ay nagkaroon po tayo ng live orientation, nagpapabakuna US Embassy ng mga bata sa ganitong edad. And then later nagkaroon po ng mga follow-ups, similar orientations to other regions. Yung ating memorandum guidance ay lalabas po ngayong week. At yung ating town hall meetings na pamumunuan po ng DOH and series of trainings ay tuloy-tuloy ngayong week from January 24 to 28. Darating po next week ang mga supply at pwede po tayong mag-roll out by February 4 next Friday.
The National Task Force Against COVID-19 will open both hospital and non-hospital vaccination sites in Metro Manila before it is expanded to other regions after 1 week. There will be 2 vaccination sites in each of the cities and municipality in the NCR. Pfizer is currently the only brand of COVID vaccine that has been approved for kids aged 5 to 11. There are 15 million doses of Pfizer vaccine procured by the government allotted for pediatric vaccination, and the first batch of delivery is expected to arrive on January 31. The government aims to inoculate more than 14 million children. They will receive a much lower formulation of vaccine dose. Meanwhile, the government may begin giving booster shots to 12 to 17-year-old kids by March. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
President Rodrigo Duterte plans to reveal the most corrupt presidential candidate before the national elections. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
4 months before the May 2022 national elections, President Rodrigo Duterte revealed he will start talking about the presidential candidates publicly and their negative issues in the right time. He said he would talk about the most corrupt among them. He made the statement during his pre-recorded public address for this week.
Sino yung pinaka-corrupt na kandidato? Sino yung kandidato na, this is part of, hindi ako namumulitika. I'm talking to you as your president. There are things such which you must know sa aking trabaho. And ito, kailangan ilalabas ko kasi we are talking of elections. We are talking of our country and the next rulers, so to say, so to speak.
The chief executive reiterated it is his obligation to reveal the truth, including naming the most corrupt. He also talked about a candidate who he describes as someone who cannot be the chief executive.
Meron dyan, Jose, talagang hindi pwede maging presidente. Meron naman dyan ang presidente pero masyadong corrupt. Kala lang kasi ng mga tao malinis pero yung mga nag-transact sa business sa kanya, official business, pati yung mga Chinese nagreklamo na masyadong corrupt daw. So meron naman dito na hopelessly, I think, hindi dapat na presidente. Medyo kulang talaga. Kulang. Everyday may sasabihin siya na mali o baski the fundamentals yung of what a person na gusto ma-presidente dapat.
The president said it is up to the public to believe what he will expose about the presidential bets. But the palace defended the president and said his information are based on intelligence reports which only he would access.
Sinabi naman ni Pangulo kagabi na syempre as president, he has a wide array of sources of information. Bilang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, syempre marami po siyang mga sources, vetted intel reports, and other various sources at his disposal bilang Pangulo.
Until now, the administration of President Duterte has yet to name the presidential candidate he will support during the 2022 national elections. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Several presidential aspirants gave their reactions to the recent pronouncement of President Duterte that he would name the most corrupt and unfit presidential bet soon. Nelma de Bohok reports.
Manila Mayor Isko Dumagoso said that President Rodrigo Duterte is still a voter and is entitled to his own opinion. This was after the president said he would talk about presidential candidates and reveal the most corrupt in due time. Moreno said it is the right of the president to disclose those who are corrupt.
Botante pa rin si President Duterte. Boboto pa rin si President Duterte. On top of his obligation, being the president, he's still the citizen of the country. He's entitled to his observation.
Leo de Guzman in his FB post challenged President Duterte to release evidence regarding his recent pronouncement against the unnamed presidential candidates. Meanwhile, Senator Panfilo Lacson in his Twitter post said the Department of Transportation should establish first its on-site vaccination in MRT stations before implementing the no vaccine, no ride policy. He urged the government to stop using the people as guinea pigs. Senator Manny Pacquiao in a press release said that under his administration, he will double the salary of all government teachers and would intervene to improve the living standards of their counterparts in the private sector. In order to finance the wage increase of government teachers, Pacquiao said that the government would get funds from various sources, including its savings from corruption, which according to Pacquiao is around 700 billion to 1 trillion pesos per year. In a news release, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos assures Bicolanos that they will not left behind and will be included in the tickets programs of governance. This is despite that Bicol region is known bailiwick of his rival Vice President Leni Robredo. The unity assured that political leanings and alliances will not play a factor in bringing progress and equal opportunities for everyone. VP Robredo meanwhile visited the island community in Sulu. She visited their project in the area, particularly the construction of a timber footbridge for the community.
Ngayon, madali na yung pagdala ng produkto dito. Yung teacher in charge po ng Pag-asinan Elementary School, nagkakwento siya na sobrang tulong nito lalo ngayong pandemic. Kasi yung mga magulang na nandun sa sitio na kukuha ng mga modules, hindi na nahihirapan.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The National Bureau of Investigation on NBI will broaden its probe on the phishing activities, which have reportedly victimized a number of teachers. Janice Inhente explains why.
The Landbank of the Philippines has released a statement saying that based on their initial investigation, the teacher's own device was allegedly fall into phishing scam which compromised their personal information. The government-owned bank clarified that no hacking has happened in their bank system and that accounts and personal information of their clients remain safe as it maintains the highest level of security in all its systems. According to some teachers who lost money in their payroll account in Landbank, they monitored some unauthorized transactions where the money was transferred to electronic wallets even though they did not make such transactions.
Sa isang text, tatlong OTP yung dumating sa akin.
Ayun.
Nung nakita ko nag-OTP, yung kinabahan agad ako. Pero bakit mag-sesend ng landmark ng OTP, patay pa nga itong computer ko. Kaya sabihin, lahat talaga. Kasi, di ba dapat may enter mo muna yung OTP bago mo ma-access. Successful na nakuha yung pera.
The Teachers Dignity Coalition had reported that some teachers lost between 26,000 pesos and 121,000 pesos each from their Landbank accounts due to hacking.
So far 16 na po ito, no? Ang common denominator, no, lahat sila ay nawalan, no? Nawalan ng pera, no, na batay doon ano po sa paggamit, no, ng kanilang online banking apps, no, or system nung Landbank.
Landbank says they've already reached out to the affected customers and is working on the resolution of these isolated cases at the soonest possible time. In connection to this, Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara has ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to conduct a separate investigation on the teachers who were allegedly victims of the phishing scam. According to Guevara, the NBI is already investigating the incident on a broader scale. Meanwhile, Landbank reminds its depositors to refrain from opening suspicious emails, links, and attachments, and sharing your accounts and personal information. Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, supports the increasing of the monthly pension of senior citizens. This as the Senate Committee on Social Justice tackled proposed measures seeking to increase the pension from 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos and to provide a universal social pension for senior citizens. The DSWD says the budget and the implementation of the social pension of senior citizens should be given to the National Commission of Senior Citizens beginning this year. However, some groups urge the lawmakers to further increase the monthly pension to 1,500 pesos to sustain the needs of senior citizens amid the pandemic.
Ang pinakamatindi po rito ay yung purchasing power po ay fully eroded na. Kung gagawin nyo pong 1,000 lamang yan ay hindi pa rin po makakasapat dahil sa totoo lang po, may utang po ang gobyerno sa amin dahil ang kasunduan natin nung unang implement ito ay every now and then i-review natin at i-upgrade. Wala pong upgrading na nangyari.
Compared to many items in the national budget, this is minimal. Considering also the senior citizens' undeniable contribution to nation building, this is a necessary and affordable post.
The DSWD targets 3.8 million beneficiaries this year with a budget of 25 billion pesos. The Department of Finance estimates that the monthly pension increase to 1,000 pesos would be needing an additional 22.4 billion pesos. Meanwhile, some groups representing solo parents are hoping that the government will ensure the proper implementation of the expanded Solo Parents Welfare Act once it is signed into law. Both chambers of Congress ratified the bicameral conference report of the measure yesterday, which seeks to grant additional benefits to solo parents and amending the Solo Parents Act of 2000. Under the bill, a monthly cash subsidy of 1,000 pesos will be given to solo parents earning a minimum wage and below. There will be a 10% discount and VAT exemption on medical goods for solo parents who have children aged 6 years and below and are earning less than 250,000 pesos annually, automatic PhilHealth coverage, and educational scholarship programs from government agencies. The bill also expands the definition of a solo parent to include a spouse or any family member of an OFW who serves as the guardian of the child or children, provided that the OFW belongs to the low or semi-skilled worker category and is away from the Philippines for an uninterrupted period of 12 months.
Napakalaking bagay o napakalaking tulong nitong batas po na to para sa mga solo parent dahil nga po hindi po natin masasabi na ang lahat ng solo parent ay may kakayahan.
Kung ito ay mapipirmahan na ng ating Pangulong Duterte, malaking tulong po. Malaking bagay din po na mabigyan ng diskwento yung mga bilihin para sa mga anak ng solo parent, sa gamot, sa ospital.
Ito na po yung pagkakataon na ito na ito na po yung batas na dapat ay maisa batas na at maramdaman na po namin totally po talaga. Kaya ngayon pa lang po nagpapasalamat na po kami.
Lawmakers say an estimated 15 million solo parents in the country will benefit from the proposed measure once signed into law.
For the news abroad, the United Kingdom officials has announced the discontinuation of all COVID-19 testing measures for fully vaccinated passengers arriving in the country. Chariz Longbowen reports why live. Good evening, Chariz.
Good evening, Elsie. COVID restrictions in the UK are being scrapped as the country aims to make travel more open and user-friendly, according to officials. UK Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said border testing has outlived its usefulness and that Britain is now open for business.
It's obvious to me now that border testing for vaccinated travellers has outlived its usefulness, and we're therefore scrapping all travel tests for vaccinated people. Not only making travel much easier, but also, of course, saving about £100 per family on visits abroad. Be in no doubt, Mr. Speaker, it's only because the government got the big calls right. On vaccination, on boosters, on dealing with Omicron. And we can now open travel and declare that Britain is open for business.
Secretary Shapps also said the UK government is leaning towards a more sophisticated and targeted global surveillance system. Starting on February 11, fully vaccinated travelers or those who got 2 vaccine doses or 1 dose of Janssen vaccine will not be required to do post-arrival lateral flow tests, but instead, they will be required to verify their status via a passenger locator form. Some measures are still in place for unvaccinated travelers, such as a proof of negative COVID test 2 days prior to their travel date and post-arrival PCR test, as well as verifying their status via the passenger locator form. However, they will not be required to isolate upon arrival. Meanwhile, CEO of British Airways welcomes this announcement with positivity as it would help boost the travel industry and UK economy. Elsie?
Thank you, Charisse Longbowen, for that live report. Europe's busiest airport temporarily halts all flights as airport authorities continue to carry out cleaning works. Marvi Delphine will tell us why live. Yes, Marvi?
Elsie, the Turkish authorities were forced to shut Istanbul airport on Monday, affecting flights from the Middle East and Africa to Europe and Asia. This is due to the heavy snowfall that hit the city, which blanketed the said airport in white and caused a roof of one of the cargo terminals to collapse. Travel officials said this is the first shutdown of the airport since it replaced the old Ataturk airport in 2019. Moreover, the winter weather also caused transport problems and headaches for 16 million residents in Istanbul, as cars slid down steep streets and highways. According to the airport authorities, despite the adverse weather condition, they are continuing to carry out cleaning the runway and taxiway to resume the flights soon. Meanwhile, school and vaccination centers are closed in Athens, Greece, due to the same weather condition. Elsie?
Marvi, did the airport officials announce when flights would resume?
Elsie, no definitive time was provided when the airport will reopen. However, according to Turkish Airlines, all Istanbul airport flights are suspended at least until today. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Marvi Delphine, reporting live from Australia. China has recently rejected hundreds of trademark applications, including those from the biggest tech giants, for any project related to the Metaverse. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why live. Go ahead, Paul.
Elsie, the Chinese government's National Intellectual Property Administration denied the registration of multiple metaverse-related trademark applications by various tech companies, which experts say is to lessen the risk of trademark squatting. Trademark squatting is defined as situations where trademarks are obtained by non-genuine owners and provide confusion and misunderstanding to its consumers. Some of these applications are from popular companies like NetEase, iQIYI, and Xiaohongshu. Moreover, tech giants including Tencent and Alibaba are both pending reviews for their applications. Experts say the rejections of the company's application is also an attempt at suppressing the hype surrounding the metaverse within the technology industry. Chen Gaoji of the tech research firm at PatSnap told the South China Morning Post that the action may be attributed to encouraging companies with genuine technological capabilities to enter the metaverse business. The metaverse is also known as the next phase of the internet. It is said to be conceptualized virtual space which will allow individuals to socialize, work, and play via the internet in the near future. At the moment, 153 applications in total are pending a second review, which is expected to take anywhere between 6 to 8 months to complete. Elsie?
So, Paul, what other potential risk are we looking at as the tech world enters this phase?
Well, Elsie, there have been privacy concerns raised where significant personal data could easily be accessed in this new digital world. Experts, however, do expect that before entering a new internet age, tech companies will first have to figure out how to connect their online platforms together without individuals being tracked or monitored. Elsie?
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, reporting live from New Zealand. The parallel lawsuits by the District of Columbia, Texas, Indiana, and Washington State have sued Google over what they call deceptive location tracking practices that invade users' privacy. The DC Attorney General's lawsuit alleges that since 2014, Google has made misleading public statements about how users can opt out of location tracking. According to the complaint, Google also allegedly tried to circumvent users' expressed preferences with workarounds, such as using IP addresses to determine a user's location or collecting location data via Google's apps installed on mobile devices. A spokesperson for Google, Jose Castañeda, said their attorneys general are bringing a case based on inaccurate claims and outdated assertions about the settings. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
Aspirants, either for the national or local post, can now check whether their names are included in the printing of ballots. Dante Amento tells us why. Dante, go ahead.
Good evening, Diego. The Commission on Elections has released the final ballot phases, which will be used for the May 9, 2022 national and local elections today. These are already uploaded in the Comelec website, and aspirants vying for different positions, either in the national or local post, can now check their names in the ballots. The Commission is supposed to release the ballot phases last January 15, but it did not push through due to some technical issues.
You might also be aware of this already, that the ballot phases have been posted on the Comelec website. These are all the ballot phases now. And so that would constitute the final list of voters for now.
Presidential aspirant Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s name is included in the ballot. This is despite several pending cases before the Comelec, particularly the petitions seeking to disqualify him from running in the 2022 polls. Ernesto Abella, Leody de Guzman, Isko Moreno Dumagoso, Senator Panfilo Lacson, Senator Manny Pacquiao, Vice President Leni Robredo, among others, are also in the ballot. Meanwhile, it is very notable that the two national aspirants, Wilson Ahmad, who filed for Vice President, and Norman Marquez for Senator, are not in the ballot, though they secured temporary restraining order from the Supreme Court. Another party list group, Juan Pinoy, is also excluded despite the SC intervention. Comelec spokesperson Director James Jimenez explains the serialization of the ballots has already done when these aspirants and party list group got the TROs.
By the time the TROs came out, the serialization of the ballots had already been completed. So the ballots were ready to go. So we went.
For now, Comelec has not yet gave its plan on what would happen to these aspirants and party list group, if they'll still be in the ballots or not. Meanwhile, the poll body signed a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Education and the Department of Science and Technology this morning in connection with the 2022 elections. It is part of the DOST's obligation to train teachers who will serve in the elections, such as in using the vote counting machine or VCM. The DepEd should also submit list of teachers that will be members of the Electoral Board. The Comelec, on the other hand, must assure that the benefits of the teachers will be provided and prepare them for their obligations.
Part of the Commission on Elections, our obligations are to provide, of course, the honoraria for all the hard work that our certifiers and our teachers will be going through during final testing and sealing and election day, as well as to provide trainings and capacity building programs for our teachers.
Diego, the Education Department said over 600,000 teachers have applied to serve in the elections, but there's no final list yet how many of them have their applications approved. And that's our latest live from Quezon City. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Dante Amento, reporting live from Quezon City.
The government aids seafarers by providing incentives and acquiring seamen's book. The Maritime Industry Authority, however, confirms that it will only be implemented starting February 1. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why live. Yes, Asher, good evening.
Good evening, Harleen. The Maritime Industry Authority needs to conduct preparations before they can finally provide incentives to seafarers acquiring seamen's book. This is after Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugada's announcement that seafarers who will be issued a seamen's book for the first time will be given free by the government.
Pina-approve po namin na tulong sa ating mga seafarers at mga seamen sa pandemya ngayon, yung mga first-time seamen na kukuha ng seamen's book, ang halaga nito 1,000 to 1,800, depende kung saan mo kukunin. Libre na ho yun dito sa termino nyo, Mr. President.
Meanwhile, seafarers needing to renew their seamen's book will be able to avail a 50% discount. Tugade says this aims to help seafarers considered as heroes amid the pandemic. Marina Administrator Retired Vice Admiral Robert M. Pedrad, however, explains that they still need to issue a resolution and an advisory prior to its actual implementation.
Ang implementation actually niya is effective February 1 eh. Parang yun yung target namin na mapabilis kasi ipapublish pa namin yan eh. So there is a process.
Seamen's book is almost similar to a passbook but being used by seafarers in traveling from one country to another. Seafarers, on the other hand, express their gratitude, explaining that it will significantly help, especially those who were affected by the crisis brought about by the pandemic.
Mas ayos yun, sir, dahil siyempre pag first time wala pa silang magulang pa, yung iba trabaho, mas mga yung libre. Tapos yung sa magre-renew na may 50% discount, well, malaking bagay din po yun, sir, dahil siyempre lalo na pag medyo matagal-tagal na bakasyon, wala nang ipon.
Masaya para sa amin, siyempre. Especially kahit 50% lang yan, di ba? Maiis yung burden namin sa paggastos. Kasi siyempre, yung 50% din magagastos mo sa pamilya mo, di ba? So, masaya kami para sa ginagawa ng gobyerno para sa mga seaman.
Arlene, aside from this incentive, Marina emphasized that they have also been providing other aids to seafarers amid the pandemic, including the free competency review portal in place of expensive review centers. Arlene?
Thank you, Asher Kadapan Jr., reporting live from Quezon City.
A son in Ghana, Africa, wishes for his mother to have a small business because now she has taken the responsibility of being the family's breadwinner. And this little wish is granted by Members Church of God International. Nina Armilio has the story.
When 2009 yamele corona bapoe no plano ya no duwa ina mukutoni ne droba ji ina mukutoni ka chunu den corona ba ebeize an tumu e ba fiti ko te ni tumu na le izi to jala ba e ba wa o kutoni wo nye o to o ba fiti before ba pa skafi u bene ba ba yodi tenyo ba ji angish Kenya ko ba kao na ebeize chali ebeize izere ebeize wa afa ni en 2009 no.
The eldest among 11 siblings used to be the breadwinner in the family when their father decided to leave them from their home in Borkenor Hills, Ghana, Africa. Back then, he was a taxi driver. But everything changed when he met an accident 2 years ago. which left him unable to walk on his 2 feet. Now only their mom is left with the responsibility he used to have. Ibrahim's wish is for their mom to have support for making kenke, a traditional dish in Africa made of corn flour. They are not losing hope that there will come a day when their wish will come true. And with God's help and mercy, members Church of God International, as a humble instrument of God's work, visited Ibrahim's family for their wish, capital for his mom's kenke business, plus MCGI free store items for their other needs.
Okay. Surprise because we didn't in here can I get no good so with you. Yeah, in a give your tone. Because then you what I need to if I say you need to turn it when you wash it.
At Benamau, thanks be to God for another great opportunity to witness His good works and His loving kindness upon those in need, no matter the color, language, religion, or race. With the mercy and guidance of God, MCGI will remain as a humble instrument of God's good works, because MCGI cares.
Before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 34, it says, "Then Peter opened his mouth and said, Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons." Those are the reasons behind the news, January 25, 2022. I'm Herdine Delgado.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Angelo Castro III.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.